Rise with India podcast on ET Now.
Good morning and a very warm welcome to the ET Now Rise with India podcast. Over the next few minutes, we'll take you through the top highlights you need to know to power up your day. I'm your host Rohit, and this morning, Wall Street is reflecting a note of caution which also showed up in our markets yesterday. Before we start, here's a look at the big stories this morning. Oil has passed $80 for the first time in 3 years, and US Fed is now worried about inflation. Complete ban on bursting and sale of all kinds of firecrackers up to Jan 31st in the national capital. Sebi board approves proposal to amend delisting framework after open offer. Air India sell-off is in final rounds and bid may open as early as today. Standard Life could sell 5% stake in HDFC AMC at opening bell, and Mahindra may be weighing funding options for its EV supercar unit. Sebi has approved a raft of measures including tightening of norms for related party transactions, relaxing rules for issuance of shares with superior voting rights in technology companies, and delisting norms. The board also cleared framework for gold exchange and social stock exchange for fundraising by social enterprises. S&P Global has said that there are indications of a strong rebound in economic activity in India. It has maintained its FY22 growth forecast for India at 9.5%, but also said that inflation remains relatively high and public debt worries persist. Oil prices have risen above $80 a barrel for the first time in 3 years, increasing domestic fuel prices and triggering concerns about high import bill inflation and current account deficit. The oil price rise of 55% since the beginning of the year is another sign of the energy crisis that has shaken the world. Coal prices have doubled in Asia, and natural gas prices have tripled in Europe and the US in a year. The privatization of Air India is entering the last lap, with the centre confident of meeting all the milestones for divestment. Bids could be opened as early as today, according to news reports. The Delhi Pollution Control Committee has ordered a complete ban on sale and bursting of firecrackers in the national capital till January 1st. Several experts have indicated that another surge of COVID-19 and large-scale gatherings remain key risks. The US Fed Chairman Jerome Powell has cautioned that the recent rise in inflation may last longer. Meanwhile, US stocks logged their sharpest pullback since May as rising yield deepened sell-off in technology shares. The widespread belief that tech shares will clock growth despite a weak economy has been questioned by this fall. All three major indices are on course to end the month lower. The US 10-year yield rose for the sixth day to test 1.534%, its highest level since late June. Back home, stock markets ended weak for the first time in 4 sessions as rising US yields and high oil prices began to hurt the sentiment. There was a late-hour rebound that trimmed losses, but Dalal Street still ended in the red, with China's Evergrande Group adding to the jitters. The benchmark indices are up about 25% this year, making India one of the best-performing markets in the world. Stock indices have not had any meaningful correction since March last year. Foreign portfolio investors sold shares worth about 595 crore rupees and domestic institutional investors bought shares worth about 1,400 crore rupees. Let's tell you about some of the active stocks this morning. UK Standard Life, one of the promoters of HDFC AMC, is looking to sell up to 5% stake through a block deal. It is looking to raise about 3,000 crore rupees. The floor price has been fixed at 6% discount to Tuesday's closing price. The National Company Law Tribunal has allowed Kishore Biani-led Future Group firms to hold meetings of its shareholders and creditors to seek approval for the sale of assets to Reliance Retail. The Supreme Court has upheld PNGRB's nod to Gujarat Gas for distribution in Ahmedabad, ruling that the PNGRB regulation under the challenge was neither arbitrary nor ultra-vires. The bench imposed cost on Adani Gas to pay to the centre and rejected its plea seeking rights for the disputed areas. BPCL plans to add 1,000 EV charging stations in the short term to tap new business opportunities as a hedge against displacement of auto fuels. Zydus Cadila and the centre are expected to decide on the pricing of Zycov D this week. The company has been asked to submit details regarding the cost. Negotiations are on and a decision could come soon. The centre is looking to roll out India's first vaccine approved for kids aged 12 years and above on October 2nd. Honeywell India has said that it expects 10% of revenue to come from products and solutions brand by 2023. Mahindra is considering options to raise funds for its Automobili Pininfarina unit. It is looking to bring a delayed $2.2 million electric hypercar into production. M&M is open to a potential overseas listing of the EV supercar business, according to news reports. Aditya Birla Sun Life AMC has collected 790 crore rupees from anchor investors ahead of its initial share sale that opens for public subscription today. ICICI Approved Mutual Fund, SBI MF, SBI Life, Axis MF, UTI MF, BNP Paribas Arbitrage, Max Life and HSBC Global are among the anchor investors. Homegrown mobile maker Lava International has filed for draft papers with market regulator Sebi to raise funds through an IPO. The IPO comprises fresh issuance of equity shares worth about 500 crore rupees. To recap, the trade setup shows that Sensex has formed a bearish candle on daily charts, which indicates a weakness from current levels. However, it would be early to say if the uptrend has stalled. That's all for today. We wish you a great day ahead. Thank you for listening in. This is your host Rohit signing out. Goodbye and take care.